Hello.
Hello, welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 206,
6.
and I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. It's May the 25th. Here in the States, it is the day before Memorial Day, so it's one of our national holidays. Tomorrow is. And, yeah, I plan on doing as little as possible. Michael's cooking.
Have fun. Are y'all off tomorrow?
Yeah.
Have fun. I didn't know if that was one of the holidays you get off or not.
It is, yeah. Before I moved and switched to the corporate section of our company, I did not. But now I do.
I was going to say, this past weekend was graduation weekend for my kids that were seniors, and because their graduation was on Saturday and because it's a holiday weekend, some of the parents that work at the casinos couldn't get off. Because you have to use like 4 vacation days to get one
because
holiday
of
weekend off.
The absence policy around their blackouts.
Yeah.
Some of the busiest weekends.
One of my girls was upset that her dad couldn't see her graduate, and I felt really bad for her.
Yeah.
That's okay. I told her he'll see you graduate college. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, on that cheerful note, I've got knitting. Do you have knitting?
I do, but why don't you go ahead and go?
Okay. So I have 2 things that I'm working on the needles, and I have lost one of them. I swear I brought it in here. Where'd it go? Anyway, what I'm knitting on right now is a wee little ear flap hat.
Aww.
Isn't that cute? There we go. That gets it kind of centered. I'm knitting it out of Shelter, which is one of the Brooklyn Tweed yarns, in the Wood House colorway, I think? Wood Smoke colorway. So close. House, smoke, you know. It's out of Shelter. Shelter is a made in America completely wool. It's 100% American wool from Wyoming, and then it's spun in New England. And I think the composition is Targhee primarily. The wool
I think it is.
Yeah, Targhee Columbia sheep. So it's nice and springy. And then it's spun in New Hampshire. So it's very cool. It's some people don't like it because it's a woolen spun, which means when you look at the construction of the actual yarn, let me hold that super duper close. It is lofty with a lot of air that's put in, and not a whole lot of twist, but it's spun so that the most air possible could be in the yarn. And while that makes a very nice and squishy knit up product, it is not the strongest product. So it's perfect for things like hats that you're not going to really be tugging. I mean, you'll be tugging on them a little bit, but you won't be.
Yeah.
It would not work well for socks or something that you're doing a lot of.
It
has a lot of
well
hardware. Not for hard wearing things.
Yeah, or a snug garment, like a really snug sweater, because you would have to stretch it to put it on, and realistically you could, I mean, we do know of someone who knit a garment in Shelter, and it was snug and it caught on a button of her jeans and ripped a hole, because it's not, with the air in it, it's not as strong as a really densely spun yarn. And that's not, I'm not knocking it. It's great for what it does. No. It's just not as strong as a worsted spun yarn.
Yeah. That's the nature of woolen versus worsted. The other thing, I found it, I'd put the Gales Art stuff over it, that I'm working on is a sock. It is a toe-up Afterthought heel sock. Although, I think I might make it a toe-up Wendy Johnson gusset. Yeah, a gusset sock. Instead of the Afterthought heel. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to try it on a little bit and then I'll decide. Because the color stripes, it's only like 2 stripes per color. So it's not going to interrupt a whole ton of...
Yeah.
It'll kind of blend more. And I like the fit of the gusset a little bit better than an Afterthought heel sock. And I just love these socks, so I want to wear them for forever. So this is Fireweed Dye Works. Alaska Nancy is the dyer's Etsy name, and she is out of Alaska. And I don't think she's dyeing currently, but this is her Russian Rainbow colorway. I think she's on a little bit of a hiatus. But she's one worth waiting till she comes back to check out, because she's got some really pretty stuff. I'm knitting these on Eddie needles,
sock rockets,
sock rockets size 1. And
You're
the
actually
hat,
magic looping, which you do not do.
Oh, I magic loop sometimes, but
not for socks. I mean,
not typically for socks. So I was gonna say I just magic looped 3 little critters. So that's being knit on size 1s. The hat, which is adorable, is being knit on size 7s and 8s. It was actually 8s for the cast on. It does this cute little like rolled hem feature, because I'm back to the hat. And then it goes down to 7s for the short rows for the little ear flaps. And this is the toddler size. So that is everything that I'm currently working on the needles. I do have the Huckleberry socks, which are right here, to add heels to. I'm going to do that this week so I can show that style heel in my Afterthought heel class. So I will cut and put those in this week. Then I can also count it for stash dash.
That's true.
So,
it's very clever.
I'd be so clever. So that's what I've got going on right now. What are you working on?
Well, I made a list, right? Because Stash Dash started on Friday.
Are you checking it twice?
I am checking it twice.
Have you looked at your naughty or nice?
more than twice, actually, hoping that some of the items would just disappear.
Aww.
So after we recorded last week, I actually sat down with pen and paper and made a list of everything I actually have on the needles. And I thought by the time that we ended recording last week, I thought it was 8.
No, you thought it was 10. Okay.
After I went back and realized some things that counted that I just had forgotten completely about, because it had been a long time. So how
many yards would you have if you completed all 10 of your whips?
Oh, somewhere in the nature of 8,000 yards.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I made the list, and let me pull it up. It is here. So I've got my Caulfield cardigan, which is a linen sweater I started last year sometime.
And that's out of Quince and Company.
That's out of Quince and Company Sparrow.
Design is Herzog, correct?
Amy Herzog. Mm-hmm. The second is this Daisy hat, which is out of the Juno Wren yarn, which is the
it's a Wensleydale.
Wensleydale, that's the word I couldn't think of. Thank you.
So back up 1 second. So the linen sweater has how much left to get done on it?
The linen sweater, the back is knit, the right panel is knit, the left panel I'm here, so I've got like 2 inches left, and then I just have to seam it and do the sleeves, and I'm only going to do elbow length. So realistically, I could probably finish that this week.
Yeah.
The Juno hat altogether is only going to be 250 yards. The Caulfield will be somewhere in the neighborhood.
How much longer do you have to make that hat?
A while.
Okay.
It's about half done.
Okay.
So with Caulfield and the Juno, that's around 1,500 yards. My Vivid squares, I can't find the needle that I was using. I know I was using an 8, and I've sort of haphazardly looked for an 8 around here, and I can't find one. Like, that's the needle size that disappears.
Are you trying to magic loop for an 8?
Yeah.
Like, it has to be a magic loop 8.
Because you start in the center, so it starts this big, so I have to be able to magic loop.
Can you not do, could you not use one of your interchangeable sets?
I could, but my Addy clicks, I can't find the 8 tips. They're somewhere. I don't know where.
Probably with your Vivid squares. Did you check in the Vivid squares?
Yeah, I've got the bag with the squares, and I had been keeping the needle in there, but it's not in there now. I wonder if this is an 8. Well, there it is. There's my 8s.
There you go.
So there's the Vivid blanket. There's the Infinite Twist shawl, which is a design I'm doing. There's the Voyageur. There's the Northerton hat. The Magic Cake ruffle shawl. The Hunter Hammerson socks, which I'm ripping out. A pullover, the driftwood pullover, and a baby dress. Those are my 10 items. So the only
thing you
thing
had finished the driftwood pullover.
No. I finished the main body. I've got the sleeves and the band to go.
Okay.
So.
I'd forgotten about the driftwood.
Yeah, so had I. So this is the Magic Cake Ruffle shawl. I've only put 2 rows on it since you saw it last. This is by Paula Emmons-Feasley of the...
Knitting Pipeline.
Thank you. Knitting Pipeline audio podcast.
One of the best audio podcasts around, by far.
One of the several... she has 3 different retreats.
Yes.
That she does as well.
And the cool thing about Paula's retreats is each one is geared towards, we were discussing this in the car yesterday, each one is geared towards like a different audience. So there's kind of one for everyone type philosophy.
So which I love. That will probably, the Magic Cake shawl will probably be my sort of brainless knitting this week. Like I'm on conference calls or whatever.
Yeah.
The driftwood, this is it, and this I'm knitting out of Webb's
Northampton?
Yarn. Maybe, I can't remember. So I just started the sleeve last night, but it's not one that's like exciting to me, so I haven't done a ton on it. So it's about elbow length right now, and I'm going to do it full length.
Okay. So, I would totally do 3/4 sleeves, but that's just me.
Yeah, I don't usually push mine up a lot. I'm usually pulling them down, so... I've got that sleeve and this sleeve to go, as well as the collar and band.
What size needles are on that?
9s.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've got that, and then...
What kind of collar are you doing on that? Is it a ribbed collar? Is it a
garter well,
stitch?
The button band is ribbed, and there's buttons, but it's a rolled collar, like, which I'm not sure about. Because it's set to, you do like, I don't know, 4 rows of stockinette, so it's set to curl. I don't know. I haven't decided. I may do like an I-cord, like a really small I-cord bind off around there.
Like
so
a 4-row, like a 4-row I-cord.
So that it's more stable.
Yeah.
Just because that's the way that I like it. And then the baby dress that I picked up yesterday, did a row on, and then put it back down. So
that's cute.
This is out of the...
that baby be coming soon. You best be working on it.
I know.
I'm sorry, everyone, for my... I've been hanging out with the middle schoolers too much. My butchering of the English language.
So, yeah. Those are what I'm working on. None of my projects are like super exciting to me right now, which just makes me want to cast on something new, but I also really want to actually finish Stash Dash this year, so I'm trying to stay focused.
You know, spinning and weaving counts for Stash Dash.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know.
So does crochet.
Yeah, and there's actually a shawl I want to make that I really, really like, that I want to make, and I'll look it up while you're talking about your stuff, but, and it would use like 1,200 yards of something, but cool. I'm already at 2,000 yards for Stash Dash, so doing pretty good.
Your finished object. Do you want to do your finished object so that you don't have to flip back and forth?
Yeah, sure. So I've got 2, actually.
Yay!
The first is the Northerton Hat.
Yay! Look at that!
So
That's super cute.
This is out of Coop Knits Toasty.
Did you have a lot of yarn left over?
I do, and I'm actually going to weigh it so I can figure out how much, but I have...
Those little mitts would be super cute to make the match.
I've got plenty in the blue and the orange, and the white I've probably got about 1/3 of a skein left.
Okay.
But it's large, so let me put it on. Like, it's meant to be long, which I like.
And slouchy.
Yeah, so it's super slouchy.
I love that. That is so cute. And you pom-pommed it. It's so adorable.
I did. I put all 3 colors in there. And I really like it. Like, I really like how it feels.
Yeah.
It's a little bit toothy as you're knitting with it, but once it's actually in a garment, it's really not.
It's a Wensleydale Alpaca blend, correct?
Yes. And it's all British. So I really like it. I like it a lot. So I'll definitely use this yarn again. And this is Bahram U is the company name, and it's Titus is the base. Yes. So I really, really like the base. I'll definitely use it again. And I did about as much tinking as I did knitting on this, because I kept mixing up the colors on the chart. Like, I kept thinking that what I should be knitting in orange, I should be knitting in the white. So I did a lot of ripping on this, which is not fun in Fair Isle, but It hasn't been blocked yet, so the stitches will even out a little bit once it's been blocked. I just finished it this morning, so... But yeah, I really like it.
Cool. I'm so proud of you for finishing two things. So you're down to 8.
Good news, bad news.
That looks so good.
So, yeah, I finished the Viajange.
Like how you can't even look up.
I can't.
Do you want me to say?
I'm so upset, and it's my own fault. But yeah, so it doesn't fit.
No. Let me ask you this. After you blocked it, did you look at the gauge and see if you did get gauge or not?
Mm-mm.
I would do that before you say it's your fault. I would look and see if you got gauge or not.
Let's look and see what it says the gauge is. Patterns. And, you know, I think saying it doesn't fit the way that I would have liked for it to fit. I could still wear it, sure, but it's not the way that I would want. So I'm gonna have to unplug my earbuds for a minute. So if you hear an echo, I'm sorry. It'll only be for a minute. Okay. So it's done, right? And this is out of Vamp Lace in the Vamp colorway. So this is what it looks like, right? And let me back up a little bit more so you can actually see me. Sexy linen pants. Love the linen. Okay. So
you're much dressier than I am.
And you somebody referred to Malia as saying she was being reborn, like going through this thing. But so I can wear it, right? It is like a garment that I could wear. But the thing is that the furthest that it goes, where it'll stretch around my shoulders, is like that. Like, I can't pull it down anymore because then I'm stretching it and it just wants to suck back up.
Yeah, no, but I don't think that looks bad.
But that's not what I wanted. Like,
I understand that, but I think it's still like a wearable garment. I think it'd be super cute with like black pants to wear to the theater or something. I feel like Malia's doesn't come down a huge amount further.
Well, and maybe it doesn't, but maybe that's not what she wanted. I wanted it to be like... If I wanted to make something that just went this far down, I could have killed 800 yards. Like, this would be unnecessary.
Yeah.
I could have just made it here and gone down. It's not the fault of the pattern, right? When I was doing the research and, like, looking online, I saw a lot of people who it went down to, like, their wrist on the short side. And that's what I wanted. And this is not what I wanted. So...
I'm sorry.
It is what it is. It's only 3 weeks of knitting time gone.
In the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. I mean...
It's not the worst thing ever. And I do have another skein in a Vamp. I have a skein of Vamp, so if you want a skein of Vamp, that's not a big deal.
I think I'm just gonna have to, hang up my Viajange strings.
I told Mom that it didn't fit, and she cussed for you.
I was upset, but again, it's not the fault of the pattern. On the pattern, she wears it where it's bunched at the top, right? And she is much slenderer than I am, and I knew that when I bought the pattern. That's not, you know, it's not like something I didn't realize, but I guess I just assumed it would stretch more than it did. So, rookie mistake, right? I mean, what am I going to do? So
it's only knitting.
It is only knitting. Nobody got hurt. Life is alright. It's just annoying.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
But, so what I'm thinking is that it's something that may end up going as a raffle item for SSK.
That's wonderful. It can also go in the try it on room at SSK.
We haven't talked about that. Do you want to briefly discuss that?
Yeah. So I knew we hadn't talked about it, but it's time.
Why not? So Laura and I thought, I don't know, several months ago, we've been sort of throwing the idea around. This year we're going to do the tasting room, which is a room where you can try out all the different types of, like, drum carders, wheels, spindles, needles, yarn, fiber, winders, swifts, all that stuff. So that's the tasting room. We're going to do that one night. And then another night we're going to do what's called, like, the dressing room, or the try-it-on room. And we're going to bring, like, samples of everything we've ever knit, different sweaters, shawls, scarves, And maybe we'll work with some of the designers that are coming. Maybe Susan Pandorf or
Paula or some other people who design that want to bring their stuff to allow people to try it on as well.
And we'll set up some mirrors, and you can go in and see what certain items might look like on you. We think that'll be fun because I did that in an Amy Herzog class, and it was a lot of fun to be able to kind of see, without the time investment, what it would look like on me. So
so I'm definitely bringing my tubularity, and you can bring your viageage.
We are just Martina Bim failures. Like, we love...
That's not true, though, because Lefty... I mean, how many times have you knit Hitchhiker and it's turned out amazing? Or the Lefty turned out gorgeous. Or I think the tube shapes don't work for our body types.
That could... And we're not nearly as fashionable as Martina. We're just not. Like, that's a fact.
Very true.
But I do love her stuff. And we're excited about
the
dressing room thing for SSK as well.
So super fun.
FOs.
FOs. It is my turn. I finished 2 items this week, neither of which I have because I gifted them to small children.
Well, they're not that small.
Do what?
They're not that small. They're middle school.
No, they're not that small. And these are horrible pictures. But the first thing all the patterns I knit were Rebecca Danger. So I knit the Narwhal last week. I knit a little ninja dude. And he was super cute.
And that's from her 50 Yards of Fun book?
Yes, and that's from the 50 Yards of Fun book. He's the Nano Ninja. And I, in the show notes, I linked my project pages because I am using these for Harry Potter House Cup. I went ahead and did project pages. And I don't know that he'll get used for Harry Potter House Cup because I don't know what to fit him in. But I used scraps of, I'm pretty sure it's the Debbie Bliss Cashmerino Aran that I had left over, and then some woolies, which I had to buy. And then he uses 10mm safety eyes. And all of these were knit on size 3 needles. In fact, I broke my Carbon's needles. There he is riding the narwhal. I actually, do I have my Carbons? No, they're not here. They're someplace else. The cord kind of is coming out. So, and it's magic looping. Magic looping kills needles.
Yeah, well, that's true. It can be really hard on them.
And then the other thing I knit was Harriet, the Haberdashery Hippo, which was a pattern from a magazine. My favorite part is her little tail detail. And here that's a more accurate picture of the color, that greenish variegated, and that was out of Claudia's hand painted, their worsted, which is discontinued, and it was knit on size 3 needles, 12mm safety eyes. And I actually found
like them.
They liked them a lot. They were super happy. Harley was excited, gave me a hug, and then ran off to tell people. So it was the last day of school. So they really liked them, and they liked them, so that was good. They're good kids. I'm gonna miss them. So those are my 2 finished objects. The project pages will be linked in the show notes. I'm going to use the hippo for Quidditch, and I need to post that because today is the last day. It's going to be for Ireland because it's green. And I'm going to use the narwhal for Canada because narwhals live near Canada.
Narwhals.
Narwhals.
Don't try to make it a real animal. It's very fake.
I actually, so I had the narwhal sitting like on my desk, and one of my students came up and was like, "That's not a real animal." And I was like, "Yes, it's a real animal," and we had to do some research to figure out where they lived and such. But yeah, so that's what finished objects I have. Next on the needles are going to be a lot more of these little hats, because they are adorable and I'm excited to knit them, and I'm using them to show how different fibers do different things for a class that I'm teaching. Cool. So that's pretty cool. I can't get my show notes up on this computer, so they're on the back computer, so I apologize since I'm kind of turning my back to y'all. Spinning. I did spin 2 ounces of CVM this week. This looks just like the other 2 ounces I spun. Mainly because this is the same bobbin, because the other one's still on a different bobbin. But, so 2 ounces down, I'll do a 3rd bobbin, and then I will ply them all together and see how much yardage I'm getting per 6 ounces, essentially. So that's what that looks like. It's kind of boring. I did start washing a fleece. So I did propose my owl for Harry Potter House Cup. An owl is a larger project that you intend to do over the full 3-month period. So I am washing the Cormo fleece. And this is what it looks like unwashed. And then after it's washed, it will be flick carded. These are just like my little samples. And then it will be spun. I'm undecided at this point if I'm going to run it through the drum carder after I flick card it or just flick card it. So right now I'm kind of going just towards the flicking, but we'll see. It would be nice to have it in an actual form rather than just grabbing little locks.
Yeah.
Like I could go faster on my wheel and not have to join as much. So it's funny the difference between clean and carded.
Yeah.
And not clean.
I love the crimp.
Yes. It's funny how the crimp kind of goes away and then once you add more water it'll come back. So that's really cool. Did you do any spinning this week?
Nope.
Nope. I'm trying to think what else we have to talk about. We do have a viewer question from Knitting Chris. She asks, how do you feel about producing enough knitting and spinning for the podcast? Does it ever
feel like work
to you? What inspires you? How do you pick up your projects? Are you process knitters or product knitters? So the answer is sometimes it does feel like work, but sometimes it's not. It's not work as much as it feels like deadline knitting to some degree.
You feel... it's funny. It's kind of a contradiction in terms because for the most part, we do this because we like having people to talk to. And, and people tell us that it feels like having a knitting group in their living room, which is great. Like, we're all about, making you doing the dishes better or you waiting in the...
We're just knitting along with us.
Pickup line.
Yeah.
So... in that respect, just us talking would be enough. But we also feel like sometimes, all I did was knit 3 inches on a sock this week. That's not enough.
Yeah. Sunday mornings sometimes can be a little bit stressful. Yeah.
I don't know about Laura, but for me,
or doing something else, and you're like, oh, I have nothing to show.
During the week, I try to forget that I have a podcast. And then Sunday morning, it's like, okay, what do I have ready? What can I show? What can I talk about?
And if you have something almost done on Sunday, it's like, I gotta work on that. Like, that is what needs to be done.
Yeah.
But at the same time, because there's 2 of us, I feel like there's less pressure on us than there would be if we had a single person podcast, for sure.
I would agree with that. I mean, it's still fun because it's nice sometimes because it does feel like it kind of pushes you.
Oh yeah,
to motivation. Finish things you might not otherwise just kind of let by the wayside. I do think it also kind of holds you accountable.
Yes.
I was talking to a friend of mine who has an audio podcast, and I told her I would lie my ass off if I had an audio. Like, I would lie all the time. I would be like, oh yeah, I finished those socks, and yeah, I'm working on a sweater, because you don't have to be as accountable. And I'm not saying audio podcasters lie. I'm not putting... It's not what I'm saying.
I think you're saying that they're liars who lie.
Yeah. No, I just, I would feel the need to produce, and so if I hadn't, I would just say that I had, But...
They do take... A lot of the audio podcasters do take pictures and do much more extensive notes and stuff than we do because we kind of show stuff.
Yeah. So I would say, it does feel like work sometimes, but overall,
but it's
I
fun
would
work.
So much rather have this job than any other job.
Yes, seriously.
Now, if I could just make this my full time, that'd be awesome. How do you pick your projects?
Sometimes it is yarn inspired, and sometimes it is... That's a pretty picture inspired, or especially with Instagram, seeing other things that people are producing. I find Instagram extremely inspirational.
I think for you sometimes it's like event inspired, like Camp Loopy.
Yeah.
You know you have to knit 400 yards of something by the end of whatever, so you sort of sort your queue and...
Yeah, oh, definitely. And sometimes it's totally, oh my god, I love that designer and they have a new pattern out.
Yeah.
Like, I will knit anything by Wendy Johnson or Susan B. Anderson, or, like, there, you know, you have certain favorite designers that you will knit anything that they, design. So, and lately it's been Martina Bem. So it's just, finding the person that really, sometimes it's other people inspire you from a designer perspective.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's podcasts that I find very inspirational. I love listening to people talk about their projects. And I'm assuming that's why people watch the podcast, is to be inspired to some degree, to see things that are new and different. So,
are you a process or a product knitter?
I'm a process knitter. I'm
so
pretty sure.
Knit just for the pleasure of knitting.
Pleasure of knitting. I mean, you can be a little bit of both.
I think that's what I used to very much be a product knitter. Like, very much like, if I could just have it, then I wouldn't even have to knit it. That'd be awesome. I've become more of a process knitter, and I see that sort of developing over time. Like, in my when I first started, I was all cookie all the time. Like, I just wanted it because it was beautiful and intricate and complicated, and that is wonderful. She designs wonderful, beautiful pieces, but it's not as easy to just sit down and watch TV and knit if you're knitting cookie versus stockinette, right? So,
yeah.
I would say I'm definitely a little bit of both. Still kind of leaning towards product, though, a little bit.
I think I'm definitely more of a process knitter than you are.
And that's probably true.
I knit to knit, and I knit because I enjoy the textures of yarns.
Mm-hmm.
So.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. What are we reading? I finished my Dreaming of Gods and Monsters. It was good. I am now reading the second book in the Southern Reach trilogy by James Vandermeer, who I kept wanting to type Vanderbeek, not Vandermeer, which is not correct.
That makes me so happy.
And it's called Authority, and it's kind of abstract. It's not your typical... I don't even really know how to categorize it. It's good, though. And Kobe just gave me the first book in the Septimus something.
Septimus Heap. Magic.
Yes. Yeah. He gave me that because he's working on the second one. So he gave me the first one to read.
I think Flyte, something like that.
I'm only like 10 pages into it, so...
Yeah.
He gave it to me and it's like this thick, and I was like, holy crap.
I think I have that on Audible, actually.
So he's working on the second one, so I'm reading. We like to, as often as possible, try to trade off books so we can talk about them, but
yeah,
not every book that I read is appropriate for him. So,
what
are you reading?
Still reading Wonder. I started. I should have brought Believe. I finished Believe, which is the story of, and now I'm not going to remember his name. He was a Rutgers football player. It's a biography, and he had a spinal injury in one of his games, and became a paraplegic, and said that the year after that happened was like the best year of his life. So it's super inspirational. It went on my summer reading list for the 7th graders. I did post the 7th grade reading list in last week's show notes, so if you're interested in that, it is there. I am still reading Wonder. After reading a lot of reviews on Amazon, I decided not to put Wonder on there, just because there's some people who don't like it for various reasons, and I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
I will recommend it to kids when they come in my library, but to put it on a mandated, you have to pick one of these 7 books list, I just felt like there were better choices for right now. And that's not to say that I won't change it up next year, because I do change them every year.
Yeah.
So, like last year in my 6th grade, I had Ghost in the Tokyo Inn, which I love. It's awesome. It's a mystery series that takes place in ancient China, and they are all wonderful. But it didn't get the response that I wanted from my kids. So I switched it out with Doll Bones, which is super creepy. and still kind of, you know, in that same genre. So I'm still reading Wonder. I finished Believe, and I've been reading a lot about fiber and fiber characteristics because I've gotten some fleeces lately, which we've talked about briefly, and I am starting to process them, and I want to know all the things about them so that I can process them correctly. And there are two really good Ravelry boards that I've been reading a lot on, and that's Spinner Study, and every month they do a different fiber, and sometimes they you know, they bring it back around. I think I spent 2 hours reading about Cormo the other night on both there, and then there's a fiber processing group, which is Fiber Prep Forum on Ravelry, and I was reading a lot there about Cormo as well. So I've been doing a lot of, and then the Fleece and Fiber book, and then the mini Fleece and Fiber book, which is Field Guide to Fleece. So I've been reading a lot about fiber lately.
So we can, this is foreshadowing for your summer.
It is. That's okay. Because when you have 15 pounds of fiber to get through, to clean, like, I'm not going to keep tubs of dirty fiber in my house. That is not going to happen. Once it comes in, it is immediate, like, the processing is starting. Like, I'm not, after the summer, they should all be processed. Hopefully. I did buy, because someone on Instagram, and I'm trying to remember who, Continental Kim, stores her fleece once it's clean in the Home Depot big buckets. So I went to Home Depot today and I bought some of those orange buckets, the huge orange buckets.
The 5-gallon buckets?
Yeah, and so after you clean it, you can put the locks before you process them in there and seal them and store them that way.
Do they come with tops? I didn't realize those buckets had tops.
They are $2.50, and then the tops are $1.50.
Oh, okay.
So
cool.
And they have like the rubber grommet seal, like it's watertight seal.
Oh, cool.
So I got 2 of those just to play with. As soon as my owl's approved, I'm going to start processing the Cormo. In the meantime, I am going to work with either the Romney or a new fleece that came to my house yesterday, which actually I think I'm going to do the Border Leicester first because it was not coated, so it's got a lot more veg matter.
Dirtier,
yeah, it's dirtier, and I don't like dirty things, so I'm going to go ahead and get it processed and get it clean so it's less dirty. And in case anyone wonders, Humberto leaves the fleeces alone. So
my cats leave all mine alone, except I'm telling you, there's something about this Titus yarn that my cats just, well, Fred loves. Yesterday when I was working on the tops, or the top part of the hat, like the crown decreases, I still had all 3 colors laying out by my feet on the bed. I was laying on the bed, and he took them and picked the blue one up in his teeth, and moved it a little bit, and then used his claws to gather them together and built a little nest on it. He didn't, I was watching him, he wasn't trying to, like, destroy it. He was just trying to move it. And he's never acted that way around my yarn before. Funny. So it's got to be, like, something in the smell of this particular breed or whatever. Like, he just wanted to sit on a nest and hatch these little fiber babies.
Aw, you should make him a little ball. Like, knit him a little ball and stuff it.
But,
that'd be so cute.
Yeah, so and Neelix tried to, like, roll on his back on it and rub it into his fur. Something about that Titus. Pets love it.
Dinky dog. But they've been leaving your fleece alone for the most part?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I had a bucket or a tub of cleaned but not like carded fleece sitting on my kitchen counter for 2 days, and they didn't bother it at all.
Humberto has been all about trying to get those, trying to eat stitch markers, but only the Bling Your String stitch markers.
They only have that special sauce.
Yeah, so I've been having to, like, when I work out of this project bag, I have to tuck that corner with the stitch markers. I could just pin them to the inside of the bag. I tuck that corner under the pillow so he can't get to it.
Yeah.
Because he loves it so much. So I went to Middle Tennessee Fiber Festival by way of Nashville this weekend.
I heard about that.
Yeah, so silly. And I got some really great stuff. I got to see the color wheel and I got 2 skeins of yarns of her self-striping yarn from her, and it's in the other room. I'll show it to y'all when I knit it up. But I got some Border Leicester fleece.
Very soft.
Fleece. I know, it's very soft. And the price was right. It's £4, 7 ounces, but it is going to lose a lot to veg matter. But
and
still.
lanolin. Yeah.
And it's got, well, it's not, compared to like the Cormo and stuff, it has very little lanolin to it.
Oh, okay. I like the color variation.
Yes, I picked out 3 pieces. There's a lot of color variation to it, lots of good crimp. It is very, very soft. So she's a year old now, but when she was sheared, she was less than a year old. So, and the lady who sold it to me, and I don't have it was just a small farm, and she doesn't sell online. She's so nice. She doesn't take credit cards. She only takes checks and cash. And I'd switched my purse, so my checkbook was in my other purse. And she had her friend who was in the booth beside her run my credit card for her, so I could still get it.
Oh,
which was very sweet. Because I did not bring that much cash on purpose, so I would not buy a fleece. But I did. I also got to see Elizabeth and Drew of Alpaca Fiber Solutions, and I made Elizabeth go over and look at the fleece for me too, to make sure that like it was good, and she said yes, and so I blame Elizabeth for the fleece purchase. I bought a Shock Flicker from them, which is basically a wooden piece with teeth on it, like a carding cloth that used to flick open. That's how this is processed. I just grabbed an end of the fleece and flicked it open. A lot of people use dog brushes and flick that side open. The dog brushes were like, that I was looking at, were like $12, and I think they charged me like $17 for it. So
yeah, at that point you might as well just get a flicker.
Yeah, get the real deal. They also started carrying this really cool fiber that is plant matter based with ground up pearls in it. So it's called Rose Pearl Fiber. So I got a real small sample, like a 2.5 ounce sample to play with to card, and with like some black merino just to play with.
Yeah.
So I got some soap from them. Oh, and I got you a diz, because Elizabeth had little plastic dizzes. See, that bag isn't in here. Oh, maybe it is. Huh, it is. Let me find it. I got a purple one for me. I knew you needed a diz. You can't see that.
That's making it worse.
How about that?
Yeah, I can see. Cool.
And they are doing their Ultimate Alpaca Fiber Experience weekend again this year. I really wish I could go.
Right?
It's
June
6th through the 8th, and if you're into alpacas at all and you're in the Ohio area, this is an awesome deal because it's $350 off-site, $450 in-site. The $450 on-site includes the $500 includes all meals. The $450 is if you have a camper and want to camp on-site, and then the $350 is off-site. But it's 3 days. You get a whole fleece, and they take you from alpaca fleece. By the end, you have a finished shawl. And you do coarse spinning, and you dye, and you do tail spinning, and you weave a shawl on their 5-foot tri-looms. And she told me that most of your money goes to alcohol. She said that you will have plenty because Elizabeth's so funny. Like, uptight people have problems coarse spinning, so we just give them alcohol and it makes it better. It's so funny. I love her. It's a great event. It's the ultimate alpaca experience weekend. And I wish I could go because they are so much fun.
They are.
I'm really sad Elizabeth's not. Brewer's going to Vicksburg, but Elizabeth's not. But last year at Vicksburg, we had so much fun, like ridiculous amounts of fun. So that's very cool. And I got a diz, and you got a diz, so we can be dizzy together. But I had a great time. I saw lots of people. I almost bought a Shetland sheep. He was adorable.
He was adorable.
He was only $100.
I'm sure that your homeowners association would not appreciate a
No
sheep.
bueno. Not good at all. Yeah, I can't even have chickens or anything, so not that I want chickens, but...
We actually looked into chickens. We can have chickens here, but we've got other things we want to do before we worry about chickens.
Get a Shetland sheep!
No.
So cute. So cute.
No.
You would never have to mow your lawn again.
This is true, but no. So Laura's sister Beck is still doing a fundraiser for
She's doing a Kickstarter, yeah.
A Kickstarter.
She added the chicken shirt as one of the things, and there's also like a sticker that got added too.
Yeah, she's added some more incentives, and I think she's in the process of adding more incentives this week. So,
yeah, as soon as they get their pinball machine. That was the big plans this weekend. They were going to go get a pinball machine or something.
That's her personal money. That's not her business money. Just want to make sure everybody knows that. That's not.
No.
Anyway, so that's still going. I think it's got 20 more days, and they've already like blasted their goal out of the water.
Yeah.
But they're making stretch goals to account for the extra money. So if you want to back an awesome designer, you should check it out. It'll be in our show notes. And our friend Gail of Gail's Art has got a new blend of yarn, and we've talked about it last week on the show, and so now we've got some to give away.
Yep. So we have 2 of her kits, one in this color and one in this color. The kits come with a skein of yarn each. It is, let me pull out Gail's tag.
MYS.
There's her tag.
622.
She is Gail's Art. She's wonderful. And MYS 622. It is superwash merino, yak, and silk. Hence the merino Y is the yak, S is the silk, and 60-20-20 S or 622.
Yep.
So it is a lovely, lovely blend. It's got a very nice tight twist. It's a 3-ply, which means it is going to make your stitches pop excellently. And the pattern that goes with it is the captive pattern, which can be beaded. So there are beads included in the kit as well. And they are gorgeous multicolor, like rainbow. Like that iridescent, like peacock. Love it. So, how are we going to do this? We are going to start a contest thread. Yep.
We're going to give one away this month and one away in July. Because she is our website sponsor this month here in May, and then she'll be the sponsor again in July.
Cool.
So for this first giveaway, what we're going to do is we're going to ask you guys for color work or colorway inspiration. Good call. My brain is not working. So what we're going to ask you to do in the thread out on Ravelry, all of our contests we do on Ravelry now, because it's transparent and everybody can see who posted what when. What we're going to do is ask you to post a picture from the internet or something that you upload yourself, or just a picture or a painting or whatever, an image.
Something that inspires you, that you would like to see a colorway based off of.
And we will link in the thread for the prize entry, we'll link a tutorial on how to put a picture in a post if you don't know how, because some people don't do that. So we'll do a how-to link. Ravelry has a great one that we'll link to as far as how to put the picture in the post.
Yeah.
So, and we'll draw for that next week when we record.
Wonderful. Which color do you want to do? The Bordeaux or the...
Let's do the grapey colorway, the deep purple. Yes, that one.
Yum. Yum, yum, yum.
So that's what we'll do, and like I said, we'll pull for that. It'll be open until sometime on the 1st of June, whenever we sit down to record and lock the thread.
Awesome.
Stash Dash officially started on Friday.
It did.
So that's good. I know a lot of people went and instantly claimed their spot.
So much fun. I actually put a picture of the hippo there as the sample, but I had finished it the night before. So as soon as I finish something, I'll take it out and redo it. So that is official for me.
Yeah, and I'm kind of chewing on the idea of doing a sticker or decal or something for people who actually finish it.
Oh, that'd be fun.
And mailing them, because that's, you can mail in a plain envelope and it costs,
oh yeah,
with the postage it wouldn't be that much. So we'll see. We'll have to do some pricing, but that might be something we send out for people who finish, and then we'll still do prize drawings for people who participate.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's that. Bling Your String
has a free shipping code for the month of May. And Humberto loves her stitch markers, and I love her bags, so I wanted to share that with y'all, because she's got some lovely stuff. And you can get free shipping, especially from Canada. That's a pretty big deal, at least, in my opinion. So.
Yeah. And the code is MAYFS. No spaces, just MAYFS. So, we wanted to thank her as well. You had an event at the school with fiber.
Did. So on Monday, I taught all the art classes, and we did a fiber to clothing type thing where I brought tons of samples of different kinds of fiber, and when you ask a middle schooler what kinds of fiber make clothes, tiger is often mentioned. Which I was like,
I'm sure it's got quite a short staple. I bet it's very difficult to spin.
Okay then. And of course cotton was like number one, but we talked about different kinds of cotton. We talked about all the different fibers. They got to feel bison, yak, all the cool things. And then I had laid out my fleece, one of my fleeces, my CVM fleece, and they got to touch a raw fleece. And that was very interesting for them. And they kept asking me why I killed the sheep. Like, these are city kids. This is maybe as close to a farm as they will ever get.
And it's funny because in the area where you are, it's tons of farmland. Like. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, to the south there is. And then they all spun on the mini spinner. And I had shown them how hand cards worked, and I had the mini spinner, I had a drop spindle, and I had a supported spindle, and they could try any of those. And then they I had some woven pieces and some knit pieces, and we talked about what they were wearing and whether they were woven, like jeans, or knit, like t-shirts. And different, like, do your jeans stretch a whole lot? Like a t-shirt would. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we went through the whole gamut, and I had fun, and they had fun, I think. I hope. And we did that on Monday, so that was lots of fun. And it's kind of, it's funny, it's kind of like the class I'm teaching in Vicksburg and at SSK. I'm teaching a fiber class, and it's like for knitters, it's how the construction and characteristics of different fiber affects your finished product. For them, it was more how does fiber become clothing.
Right.
So, and how actually the different woven versus crochet versus knitted, how that changes your fabric characteristics. So, for my knitters class, it's much more for knitters. But it was fun. And they loved touching the dirty fleece. And then they immediately had to have Germex.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm glad I had Germex on hand. It was very funny. They're good kids. So, we had tons of fun with that. I just briefly mentioned, but this coming week, I will be at the Vicksburg Fiber Festival. It's the Magnolia Fiber Festival in Vicksburg, Mississippi. I will be teaching 3 classes. The fiber one is on Friday, early afternoon. Then I'm teaching knitting with beads Friday evening, and then Saturday morning I am teaching Afterthought heels. And there's room in all those classes if you're still if you're looking to come. They do sign-ups at the door, so that's lots of fun. And I get to see Magic and Moonshine. I get to see Rue. My friend Melissa is coming down with me. She's driving down with me. That is. If you ever follow me on Instagram, I post pictures of a little blonde, chubby girl who's adorable, who's Michaela, who's almost 2. That is Michaela's mom. And she gets a break. Like, her husband's in town. Okay. He tends to contract work, so he's gone for 6 months and then back for a little bit. So he's back for a little bit, so he's going to watch the little one. And we're going to go down and have a girls' weekend.
Party!
Yes, and we got a hotel room with Nicole.
Oh,
and we're going to have a wonderful time, so I'm super excited. And I guess Vicksburg, in addition to the Civil War battlefield, it's like where they first made Coke. Apparently, like the store that they first made Coke in is in Vicksburg, and it's like this museum, but also like a penny candy store. Cool. And soda bar and stuff. So I'm totally gonna see if that's open Saturday afternoon after my class and go take that tour and have a good time there. So I'm super excited. Like last year I kind of ran to Vicksburg, taught my classes, and ran back. This year I am going to try to see a little bit more and have a good time. So and then Sunday I'll be back to record. So fun times. I get out of school on Wednesday. Is my first like Wednesday afternoon. Everyone else is kind of off. Like Tuesday I have to work a half day because I took some time, and Tuesday's supposed to be my last day. But because we're doing report cards on Wednesday and people want to pay fines to get report cards, I'm going to go on Wednesday morning and work for a little bit just to get that done. So that's less phone calls that I'll get over the summer. Yeah. And emails. So that'll be good. What do you have going on? The cookout with Michael.
Yeah, right now I'm listening to my dogs bark, which just irritates
I can't hear them at
crap
all.
Out of me. Michael, he goes outside and he works, and so he plugs in his earbuds and listens to really loud music, so he can't hear them, but I can hear them. So they irritate me. But, you know, I'm a little bit crazy anyway. So
do you want to show something that you got at Maryland Sheep and Wool?
Sure.
And then I'll show something I got?
I don't have a ton. I showed Into the World. Let me see. I got some hobbledehoy.
Oh, good.
And marigold gin. So I sent one little battling pack off to a friend of mine, but this one is the Spellbound battlings, and these are just little bits and bobs of fiber. The whole bag is 2 ounces, and so I thought it would be good to spin a little bit on a spindle.
Yeah.
And then fly it. Like, it's not a huge commitment. It's, you know, maybe an hour or two of
They're awesome.
Each little blob. And then, so that's hobbledehoy, and her mother is Marigold Jen. So, and they're both in the booth, and they're both funny and sweet.
Oh, yeah.
And so I got these 2 colors, and they're both in the same base, the DK. Oh, no, they're not. I thought they were. This is DK weight, and it's 250 yards of 100% superwash, and it is Black Magic. So it's mostly black, but it looks like it had a purple overwash. Or maybe it's purple with a black overwash. I don't know how dyeing works, so there's that. And then I got, this colorway is the worsted weight, 218 yards of 100% merino, and it's Juneau, spelled like the city in Alaska.
Oh, cool.
And I really like the little pops of teal. I thought that would be fun.
Oh, yeah. I like that a lot.
I got, this is from the one booth. Actually, I got more than this, but I sent some of it off to a friend. So
I got lots of things because I'm a wool pig.
Yeah.
So I also got some Spellbound battlings. And I got some English Ivy battlings, and I think I am going to do those together.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. The intent is to spindle spin them, but they might be wheel spun. They are 2.4 ounces and 2 ounces, so there's a little bit more in the English Ivy battlings. So I like those a lot. Or maybe I'll spin them separately and then Navajo ply them and do some color work or something with them, like something stripy. So I have those. I got some Huckleberry Bets, which are really, really pretty.
3 big, fluffy, yeah.
Yep. So they are 4 ounces of very sparkly, very happy, purpley bats. Everything I got was purple. And then I got some Diz Roving.
I like her Diz Roving a lot.
Yeah. And that is 3.5 ounces of merino, silk, bamboo, soy silk, and sparkle. So, super excited. Lots of fun stuff. So that's what I got at Hobbledehoy. I did not get any marigold gin. Ooh, I'm throwing stitch markers because I have 5 skeins in the stash that I haven't used yet. I've only used 1. So I'm going to wait until I use up some more of her stuff before hopefully I'll get some at Maryland Sheep and Wool next year.
Last
she's
year,
got a great Etsy shop.
I got a skein, but I used it. And it was a fingering weight, but I really was drawn to those colors. I kept going back and back and back. So
my toddler afterthought heel socks uses her DK base in the Yoshi colorway.
So yeah, so for the holiday weekend, I've got. I actually have to admit a terrible, horrible thing. I suck at cleaning. I hate cleaning my house. Like, it's my least favorite thing to do. I don't mind doing dishes. I don't mind doing laundry, but I do not want to get on the floor and scrub the floors. I just don't, you know. And so I finally gave in and hired a cleaning service to come in and clean my bathrooms. Just the bathrooms. And the floors in the living room, but nothing else. And it's so nice walking around a clean house. Oh, God. It feels like I just won the lottery to walk around a clean house. And it's like, I worried about it way more than the people who came and cleaned my house worried about it. Like, anyway.
So is this a one-time thing, or are they going to come multiple times?
I don't know. I just did it for the one time. We'll see. Because I have dogs, and so I would always have to be here when they came, so. Yeah. I don't know. Which sounds like a very, like, hoity-toity thing to, like, hire a cleaning service, but it was my sanity or the cleaning. Like, I had to pick one or the other. Oh, yeah. So. But anyway, I did that because I'm having a friend over for Memorial Day, and possibly more than one. It just depends on traffic and other stuff to see if I can get a couple of others over tomorrow for a cookout. And I wanted, a clean house, so. That'll be fun, hopefully. And we're supposed to have really good weather, like low 80s.
Oh, that'll be nice.
70s. So
middle 90s.
It's totally different here than it is there in the 80s. So yeah. There's that. Are you doing anything? Are you going to your parents or anything for Memorial Day?
I'm going over there tomorrow and chilling, catching up on all
something delicious.
Veggie burgers, catching up on all the back episodes of NCIS that are on their DVR for me. So, because my mom and I are both NCIS fans, and I've gotten way behind. So,
we did want to mention our friend Aiden over at Acreworks.
Yes,
who they do the flat pack bobbins. The shocked bobbins went live this week. Yep. So, if you're interested in these bobbins and they break down flat for travel.
They twist now. My other ones don't twist.
Yeah, these cool. ones twist. The other ones just pop off. So his newer design, I guess, twists. I think they're available in like 4 designs, but a whole bunch of colors. Yep. And they're $37 per bobbin. And they can
just pack up just like that.
Mm-hmm. And he's got it for different types of wheels. For shocked, it's $37. And it differs based on the wheel because of the amount of work and the amount of the 3D printing material that required. Has to be done. Yep. So, you can check it out. We'll put a link in the show notes if you are interested. But I know a lot of people want to know.
All of them. So, I want a rainbow of these bobbins. They're gorgeous, and they make me happy.
Yeah,
and you can see when you spin, you can see through the sides, which is really, really cool.
And actually, the core, like the center rod of the Acreworks bobbins, are thinner by 1/4 of an inch than the shocked ones are. So you can actually pack more on these bobbins than you can on the shacked bobbins, which I think is cool.
Yeah, and those are the shacked plastic bobbins compared to these, so y'all can see. Much prettier.
So I think that's it. I don't really have anything else that I can think of. Oh, I made ice cream.
Did you? What kind of ice cream?
It is all Jasmine's fault. From TheKnitGirlls, she's been posting on Instagram over the past several weeks pictures of when they make ice cream, and it made me want to make ice cream because clearly it's just too easy to go. Like, it's kind of like you could buy socks at Walmart. Well, yeah, you could get ice cream at the store, but why?
Homemade ice cream's delicious. Did you get the attachment for your KitchenAid mixer?
I did, and so it's got like the bowl that you have to put in the freezer overnight. And then you take it out and you add all these ingredients. And then, you have to chill the mixture for a little bit, and then you add all the ingredients. And I got the Ben & Jerry's cookbook.
Oh, cool!
So I made the sweet.
You need to get the Jenny's ice cream cookbook.
Ooh, I do.
You do.
And then Jasmine recommended one called The Perfect Scoop, so I'm going to have to go and buy some stuff on Amazon.
That's awesome.
I just made my first batch, and it's hardening in the freezer right now. It's my reward for podcasting.
What kind of ice cream did you make?
I just made their plain sweet cream, like their plain base, and added some chopped up peanut butter cups.
Oh, cool.
I just wanted to see if I could get the base right before I went too crazy experimenting, so...
Fun.
We'll see.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, okay, so that's it. The next time that we record will be June 1st.
Yeah.
And
man, I gotta get some stuff done for Harry Potter House Cup before then.
That's true, because that's when your, like, semester is over or whatever, right? The last day of the month?
Yeah, the last day of the month, like, everything, all the classes have to be posted. So, like, if you want, you gotta post. I gotta post stuff tonight, because I've got stuff done. I just need to post it.
Okay, well, you go do that. Y'all have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, y'all.